Welcome back to another short Legacy League where we have green-white lands versus Asmo Painter. A huge thank you to the Patreon supporters who are helping the league and YouTube channel. If you would like to become a supporter, please click on the link in the show notes. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Alright, game number 1. I am on 6. Ezra is on 7. He's on the play, leads off with a welder. So Ezra is playing an Asmo Painter deck, which is a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing. So it is this is actually a really fun matchup. So I'm actually pretty excited to go do this video and talk about the gameplay and everything like that. I believe I name welder with this pithing needle, not knowing what I'm getting myself into. So it's pretty exciting. And then we're going to follow that up with a vexing bauble to try and stifle any 0 drops that he has. So also a special shout out to the Florida Legacy Club. I met them in Eternal Weekend and we exchanged playmats, which is why I'm repping it currently on this particular game. You'll see it from time to time on these videos because I'll put it out every time I actually play on camera just to give them a little bit more light. We have a pithing needle. He is going to name Caracas, but I don't know that yet, so I'm going to make a construct in response. He ends up naming Caracas, which I thought was kind of weird because, again, I have no idea what's actually happening here, and this is why I have no idea what's actually happening here. He is playing this lady who originally was on Granite Gargoyle, starting in Unlimited, talking about the Underworld Cookbook. Also the longest name ever in Magic's history. Goes all the way back to Granite Gargoyle. So there's a little bit of a factoid for you. But he did discard he cycled a Street Wraith, which is discarding a card, which allows him to play that for 1 mana. The reason why I'm pulling my phone out and also yelling over to Connor Panuccio is to find out exactly how this card works with Vexing Bauble. To answer that question for everyone, he is paying a mana cost for it, even though it has no mana cost, and Vexing Bauble does not counter it. So we's in some deep doo-doo here, because he has a cookbook, he has an Asmo, and he can start plucking stuff pretty quick from me. So more than likely, I probably should have named with my pithing needle, I should have named Asmo instead of the welder, but we're going to make a construct here, and I believe we're going to try and go get some boots, or no, we went and got a Soul Guide Lantern. You would think I know what these cards are by now, but still have to remember what they are. So he's going to pitch an Ancient Tomb, and we have to dig out some tokens that we don't typically use. Food in Vintage is yes, but in Legacy, not so much, and we're going to see a pitch here, and he's going to pick up 1 elemental. Had to find some of those tokens as well because we typically don't use those, and gets to discard another card, uses Asmo to downtick, and my constructs deal themselves damage equal to their power. So I pop that back up on the screen so everyone can see it, because it's been a long time since I've played against an Asmo food deck and kind of forgot what she does with all that text and that long ass name. So there's a grindstone back over to my side. All I need really here is a land, and I can make a 20/20. I did not find said land, so I start digging, looking for it. Still didn't find a land, so we go again. I think we crop rotate for a basic forest, and then try and draw another card off the Soul Guide Lantern, and I am just striking out left and right, and there's quite a few obstacles in my way. Grindstone is in play. If he finds a painter, it's going to be over, and he also has the additional Seasoned Pyromancer in his graveyard to bring that back at end step. Definitely having some trouble pulling something together here, being a little shy on lands, pitching his own land to get a food, and then he gets to play the Seasoned Pyromancer, getting 2 more elementals. I thought about going to go crop rotating for a Tabernacle, but he also has tons of mana as well, so I don't think that would have fixed my problem here. gets another food, kills my construct, and now he can start the beatdown. And I really have no recourse here to do anything. I'm just hoping I can maybe find a Source of Plowshare or something like that off of my Sylvan Library and at least kill the Asmo and then slowly start dealing with the other 5 points of damage that are on the battlefield. But I really only have a few turns to figure it out. There is a Mazavith that will allow me to at least stave off one attack, but even then, it's not going to be quite enough. So there's the Maze. You know, it's pretty tough here. So double exploration, no additional lands. I do have the crop rotation, but I did sack the... what did I sack? I sacked the Dark Depths to go get a 4 so I could at least get some lands going. Or some mana underneath me to try and dig out of this. So he's going to play a Painter. I'm going to crop rotate. Go get a Blast Zone. Pot the Blast Zone, hitting the Needle and everything else. But there's still 8 damage coming across and I lose anyway. So, on to the game number 2.
If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.
Back to game number 2. You got to see my deck list there. I believe I brought in from the sideboard 2 Swords of Plowshares, Haywire Might, and 3 Force of Vigors. I believe I also brought in Shadow Spear as well, just so I could gain some life. But we have a pretty fast start here with an Exploration, Yavimaya, and an Urza Saga. We're going to crop rotate away the Yavimaya because I have another one in hand with another crop rotation and get to pass over. The whole thing we were talking about, kind of joking around, was, hopefully I didn't have another crop rotation to make the 2020 because he didn't really have too big of an answer for that. The biggest thing here where I think I made a mistake is I don't know if he's playing Simian Spirit Guide, but I know he is playing with a Painter. And right here with the Painter on the stack, I should have crop rotated and made the 2020 there. But I didn't. And that was probably my mistake. I should have gone and got, while the Painter was on the stack, and made the 2020. That way he couldn't Red Elemental Blast me. This video is brought to you by Should I Buy a Moat? In terms of Moat's fucking awesome. I really like Moat. I've already owned a Moat. But sometimes when I see Moat, I think I should buy a Moat. So, leave a comment if you think I should buy a Moat. In game number 3, we're both on 7. Ezra's kept... Actually, Ezra did keep 7. Ezra's on the play, is what I meant to say. And now we have the Asmo coming into play and a cookbook coming out rather quickly. This is going to be fun. We did get to see a game 2 where literally my deck did exactly what it was supposed to do. And by that, I mean it made a 2020 on turn 2 and killed him. So, back over to Ezra for his turn 2. Not quite as fast as mine, but he does have triple welder, which I didn't realize until just now, is quite good. We do have Swords of Plowshare and a crop rotation and a Boseiju in hand. We also have a Blast Zone as well. So we can at least take care of some of these pesky little 1 mana dudes. And he's going to pick up some food here. Pitching these. Alright, there's a Shattering Spree in hand. He's going to float a mana. More than likely going to get another... Nope, he's going to go get an Opal. I point out that Opal doesn't work without multiple artifacts. And then he reminds me that food and cookbook is also an artifact. So me being like, oh yeah, for sure, yeah, I knew that. Is how that conversation just went. Pitching 2 to the Seasoned Pyromancer and getting 2 little elemental dudes. Picks up a Grindstone. It looks like just a basic mountain. And now I've got a little bit of an army I have to deal with. So that's not great. But at least we can crop rotate and get something going here, I believe. No, I decide to draw a card instead. And Haywire Might is what I got. So we can at least play the Blast Zone, and we can play the Haywire Might. He can block, and then soak up some damage. And he can soak up 2 damage as well as gain me 2 life. So he can soak up a total of 4 damage on this battlefield, which is pretty cool. Alright, so Grindstone in hand, 1 I couldn't quite tell, and we've got some movement here. So I believe I choose to use the Haywire Might here. I can't quite remember, but we'll find out. I don't. It's my first day. And back over to me. So I'm debating whether I want to crop rotate to go get a... okay, there it is. So that's actually pretty good. I'm deciding if I want to crop rotate to go get a Urza Saga, and I can at least start getting some creatures on the battlefield. Haywire Might hitting the Mox Diamond, thinking that it might take him off of some mana, but I'd also forget that artifacts exist in this game, and that's how they work. We're going to pop this for 1, getting rid of at least 1 damage on the battlefield, also the cookbooks, and I think I have a Swords of Plowshare up available for the Seasoned Pyromancer. So back over to Ezer, plays the Grindstone, beautifully played around the Blast Zone, and 4 damage coming back over to my side. Passes it back over to me, pick up a draw, and we are definitely holding on to that Swords of Plowshare and that Beseiju like our life depends on it. Crop rotation needs to be utilized in a good fashion. Hopefully I decide to do something, holy shit, pass back over, I don't even know what's happening, and at least there's no more extra dudes on the battlefield. So now I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should get Karakas, but I crop rotate away and get a Saga so I can at least start blocking. I do find the Life from the Loam, which is a really big help here, because I can put Blast Zone back into play, or other lands like Maze of Ith as well. Maze of Ith does tap for green mana still because I do have the Yavimaya, so that is a plus. And I believe I play the Ancient Tomb, but I can also tap that for green mana without having to take too much damage. So, don't have any artifacts in play, which is kind of a bummer. So this construct is just going to be a 2. I do have 1, so it'll be a 2/2, so I can at least take a Seasoned Pyromancer off the battlefield at this point. And that point, I can at least kill 1, and then I can make another one and go get a Shadow Spear. So we'll see if I choose to do that or not. So I am tapped out. Luckily, he doesn't have the Painter going. He chooses not to play the Grindstone, which is really smart because he knows I have the Blast Zone in hand. It'd be very easy for me to get rid of 2 Blast Zones, or 2 Grindstones with the Blast Zone. It would set my board state back a little bit, and right now I am on the back foot trying to fend off this 2/2 and those 3/3s. So pick up a draw. I believe I do make another construct here. Yes, I do. So at least I have a 2/2, and then this will make it a 3/3 with a Pithing Needle, naming Grindstone. Untap over, and he picks up a land, and I believe he has a Smash to Smithereens. If he doesn't, it's coming soon. But yes, he does. There's a Smash to Smithereens for 3, which is going to blow up. Is it Smash to Smithereens? I don't think it actually is. I think it is... what is that called? Shattering Spree. Sorry, I've been keep saying shatter. Whatever. It is Shattering Spree. So I do burn my swords to protect myself from 2 more life lost, and I have a Maze of Ith as well. So I'm only taking 1 point a turn, and I have to be able to get something else going here. I do have a Lava Spur Boots in hand. I can afford to take a little bit more damage. I am worried if his deck plays a Lightning Bolt. I had not seen one yet, but, getting to 3 life, or, running down to 3 life is not ideal when, you're playing against a red deck. We're going to loam and try and get our Saga back online, kind of thing. Obviously leaving up the Blast Zone every chance we get to blow up a Grindstone if a Painter comes into play. So that's a pretty important thought process I'm having this whole time, is like knowing that there's a Grindstone in play. He doesn't quite have enough mana yet to activate and play the Painter, but it is still definitely something I need to be aware of. Because a Swords Plowshare isn't fast enough unless I catch the Grindstone at the same time. Luckily, I do find a Mox Diamond, so that does boost my mana a little bit more, and I'm able to accelerate a little bit while leaving up a lot more mana. I can leave up Swords Plowshare as well as Beseiju as well. So able to deploy the Lava Spur Boots, and now my construct's at least a 3/3. I didn't want to make one unless I absolutely had to. So Asmo can come into play now because he cycled the Street Wraith, and that's exactly what we see happen here. I believe I decided to deploy the Sword Splasher on this, knowing the type of damage that it can do. Triggers on the stack to go get the cookbook, but the damage is kind of already done there. We will see the cookbook come into play, and he has the Overchase Daredevil to combo with it to come back into play every time he makes a food. So we are able to make a construct here and untap, and then we can draw and make another construct if we find what we're looking for. So we now have a Force of Vigor and a Boseiju in our hand. Force of Vigor is something that does work, but the Grindstone has to be activated first. We do have a Shadow Spear as well, so I believe I want to equip the Shadow Spear first, so I can gain some life and get back into a healthy life total range, while not being too greedy and also keeping up the Blast Zone or the Boseiju and the swords kind of thing. So again, just being very cautious with my mana to try and make my way through this game. So he's going to able to gain 3 life essentially a turn utilizing the Overchase Daredevil with the cookbook. But now I have a pretty solid footing with the constructs and the Lava Spur Boots. So, I've got a 5/5 or 6/6, and also I can make it a 5 or 6/5 as well. Another construct. So trample is kind of nice, but the life gain is really what I'm most concerned with. So trying to decide if I want to loam or if I want to draw. At this point, I think that more cards are what I need at the moment, as opposed to loaming and what am I trying to say? Loaming and just putting the Saga back into play. Sorry, guys. I'm struggling here. It's been a long day. But he does a triple block, which does kill my construct, but I do gain the life. So now my life gain is in really good position. I was rewarded by not loaming by picking up a Sylvan Library and able to at least semi-protect my creature with Ward by also still keeping Blast Zone up and or a Boseiju Sword Splasher, or Boseiju at this point. I also have Force of Vigor available to me as well, which I've thought about deploying on the Cookbook and the Grindstone to try and get those off the board. But I know that like a Painter is imminent, and I really need to be aware of that. Like if I take like the Cookbook and the Mox, that does reduces life a pretty good bit. But I'm willing to just keep pounding with this one. I did find another Saga off of the Sylvan Library, and I'm able to actually start drawing multiple cards per turn with that Sylvan Library because of the life gain from the Shadow Spear. So Wombo combo, let's go. And he does have a ton of life as well available to him, and it looks like he finds the Painter. So it looks like he has 2 Painters actually, but he's wanting to ensure that this Overchase Daredevil in this construct, and I decided to roll up to 3 on the Blast Zone to just take care of the Daredevil myself. And then we have another 3 here to take a peek at. Not really in a good spot, but I can make another construct, which does make this my construct that's in play large as well. I wish I'd have found another. Artifact here. Is what I was thinking, but we just try and keep our game plan going. We do have Boseiju and we have Force of Vigor, so we are insulated pretty well against what's on the battlefield. Make another construct, equip the boots to the other construct, and now they can both attack. One has trample, one does not. But the idea here is I prefer to split up the damage one way or the other. If he lets one go through and I trample over, so my thought process is here is just get these things off the battlefield, and we'll deal with them. That's a problem for next turn's Charlie, not this turn's Charlie. Both of those are gone. And then I think I'm holding. Yeah, I have not a Besage, but I have a crop rotation in hand. So they die, and then once he goes to activate the cookbook, I stop him. And I crop rotate to bog him here to get those Overcharged Daredevils out of there, and now those are clear, and I don't have those to worry about coming back every single turn, and then I can focus on just killing him the following turn. Because we have another construct that's coming into play. So this is his last-ditch effort. He does find an Ancient Tomb, and I'm good with it. He goes to activate the Grindstone, and the Besage I've been holding since the beginning of the game finally paid off. So thanks everybody for watching. See you next time. Have a good one.
If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below.